I'm Reese,
And I'm Owen.
and this is For the Boys.
This episode, we're talking about stupid things the boys do.
Yep. And when we say the boys, we mean me and Owen. We've been friends for about 8 years. Just the dumb things that we've done. I would not advise doing any of the things that we say, even though they're kind of fun, but don't do it. Trust me.
Yeah, today was a very interesting day.
Yeah, we started out, we woke up and tied my snowboard to the back of my gator. If you don't know what a gator is, it's like an ATV, like...
Off-roading go-kart, or not go-kart, golf
yeah, it's
cart
like an
kind of
off-roading golf cart. But we pretty much hooked it up.
Using
we just
a
tied it.
long rope.
Yeah, using a long rope. And then you step on the snowboard, and the person in the front seat hits the gas, and you go flying.
But the person in the front seat has so much power.
And I was always the first one to do it, because I am the test rabbit.
Yeah,
I am just
this is the guinea pig. In the science lab. But whoever was in the front seat would have so much power and could go fast at any single moment.
Yeah,
and
if I yell at Owen or make him mad, he has
I
my life in
have a
his
lot of
hands.
power when Reese makes me mad, which is not very often, but quite often.
Quite often. Small.
But the driver could go fast at any moment, and whoever's riding on the snowboard would fly. And if they fell off, they'd still be on the snowboard and get dragged for however long until they get out.
Yeah.
And sometimes it will last almost a minute.
I'd yell at you to stop, and then you wouldn't stop.
I wouldn't stop. Yeah, that was so
Being
fun.
dragged by
It's
my
so
feet.
fun.
It's so fun. Don't do it.
Don't do it, but
Don't
it's
do it.
so fun.
It is fun.
It's very
But don't
fun.
do it. And then after that, I was like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if I just grabbed the rope, like laid face first on the ground, and just had the ATV drag me around?
Instead of dragging
When
the
I was just
snowboard,
holding
it just dragged you.
Yeah, just on the ground. It's like I was a snowboard.
Yeah, and so whenever he hit a stick, it scratched him, and
Ooh, I have cuts all over my arms.
cuts. It was hilarious, but it probably hurt. I didn't do it.
Yeah,
I was scared.
you didn't do anything today.
I didn't do very much. I drove. I really like driving. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, we pretty much just got these yoga mats, normal, rolled them up, and we're just beating the crap out of each other with them. It's really fun. It kind of hurt.
Not for me. I didn't get hit very
Well,
much. I kind of hurt Reese.
You're a ton bigger than me.
I'm a lot bigger than you.
I'm older than you, but you're a lot bigger.
I'm taller and
Stronger.
Powerful.
Stronger. But I'm a Jedi Master, so I can
Reese was pretty stealthy.
stealthy. No, I wasn't.
You got some moves.
I was yelling around the kitchen. What are you talking about?
Reese was running around the kitchen, running
Yeah.
around the living room.
I stubbed my toe in a corner while we were doing that and dislocated my toe.
Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah, that's
Another reason not to beat other people with really anything,
yeah.
let alone yoga mats.
Especially the foam rollers, they hurt,
They do not feel good.
but it's hard to get a grip on them, so it's not like
They aren't the optimal lightsaber.
those are very big. We tried to find lightsabers, but we couldn't find lightsabers to
I don't
fight
know.
with.
I used to have those plastic looking, like you flick it and the blade flies out.
Yeah, those are pretty epic.
Those are Pog. But I don't even know if they make those anymore.
They probably do. They're just cheaper.
So, I live in like a more rural city in Indiana, right? And Owen lives in a more suburban city part of Indiana.
Yeah.
So when Owen comes out here, it's just kind of like his second life.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
He's like a big gamer when he's at his house.
And here.
But he comes over here and he's like, "Yeah, you get down, big up truck."
It's a lot of fun here, though.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's a lot different. Like at my house, you don't have a yard, and here there's a huge yard.
Huge yard, like 100 some acres.
Wow.
Or I mean, It's we have 40 of it, but we can go on our neighbor's property.
Yeah.
But we have, or I guess it's technically not ours, but our neighbor has it, and it's this hill that is almost a straight drop down.
It is a huge hill. It's very steep.
It takes you about 5 to 10 minutes to walk back up it,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you start going, you go about like 30 miles an hour.
Like 30 seconds down the hill.
Yeah.
35 seconds maybe. Like it's
It's a
really
big hill.
long hill. It's very steep. It's awful walking back. It sucks.
But it's so
It's-
fun.
It is. It's so fun. I wish there was a ski lift.
Yeah.
Just put a ski lift in your
That'd be
neighbor's
hard.
yard. But you can't get the gator over there because it's the neighbor's yard and it's a hayfield.
Yeah.
It's
The
supposed to be
Gator,
a
by the
hayfield.
way, when we say Gator, it's just my ATV. It's John Deere.
Yeah,
They call it the Gator.
It's very epic.
Yeah. We kind of have to keep an eye out because it's not our property and they don't know that we're using it.
They're also quite older.
Yeah.
And they don't go up there very much unless
Yeah.
during the summer they're like
I think
fixing
one of
their
his
crops.
I think one of his kids takes care of the horses sometimes in kindergarten.
Yeah, so
This
when I
is-
was a
this sounds
lot
terrible.
younger, not longer, I came over to Reese's house probably the second time.
Yeah, probably the second time.
Second-
He wasn't the brightest kid when he was in
I
kindergarten.
wasn't. I'm pretty.
You're
no,
smart now.
I'm smarter. Like
Smarter.
why? Like
Logically, you're smarter, kind of. But yeah, when he was little, he none of us were very smart. But we had this pretty low hanging basketball goal that wasn't stuck into the ground, or it didn't have any weight on the back of it, so it was just barely balancing. And Owen jumps up, grabs the net, and pulls the whole. It has to be a 60-pound, 70-pound
it
basketball
was.
goal
It was all
on
metal.
top of him, and he's like falling backwards with this like thing, like this big basketball goal on top of him, and he rolls out of the way just in time.
I was
Like an Indiana
probably
Jones moment.
75 pounds, maybe not even. Like kindergarten, I was probably 6 or 7, and I don't weigh very much. And I mean, I weighed quite a bit.
I weigh
as a
85
kindergartner.
now. What are you talking about?
Yeah, bro, I was a big kindergartner, bro. I was like chunky. I was pretty tall. I was tall.
You were really tall.
I was tall.
Right.
And then when I pulled that goal down on me, it was. I'll never forget this because it was very scary.
It was like a spider sense
Like,
moment.
I have never moved that quickly in my life. Like, it was coming down, and right when I hit the ground, it probably hit the ground literally a second after me, and I rolled out of the way just in time for that crash to me, and that would have at least broke a rib or something.
Yeah, that it might not have killed him, but that would have been bad.
it would have hurt my little tiny bones back then. It would have not been good at all.
Owen, you're quite injury prone.
I've had a lot of injuries.
Name a few of them.
I have broken my arm twice. I tore
Monkey bars,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I broke my one of my arms. Like the worst time was I was swinging on a monkey bar and I fell off like backwards because I was swinging, and I landed on my left arm.
And by the way, the person who was with him, I wasn't with him, just laughed at him.
Yeah,
He was like,
he was
"I
like,
gotta
"Hey, bro,
go
you
to
should
the
do this. It's
doctor."
really easy." And I just was like, "Okay." And I tried it, and then there was a couple people nearby, and they just laughed at me. And I get up and I run over my mom, like, and I start sobbing. I'm crying. I'm so
Yeah,
it
because he's
hurt.
in first grade, and you're
First-
like, my arm is bent backwards, something's not right.
And my mom's like, "Should I take you to the doctor?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Yes,
And
take
I
me
went
to
to the
the
doctor. I got an X-ray, and it was broken. And the other time, I was wrestling my brother.
Really? I didn't know that.
I pulled him on my arm.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember yelling.
And I was like, and I ran downstairs crying to my mom, saying, "I hurt my arm." And then I went to the doctor the next day, broke my arm.
Owen, he like tore a ligament in his wrist or
I
something
tore
playing
ligament in my
baseball or
wrist.
playing basketball.
I took a charge, and when I fell back, I should have landed on my butt, but I put my hands out, which is because I got hit by the lightest kid on the team, which barely touched me, so I just fell back, and my natural reaction was to put my hands out and to catch my fall, but that doesn't work. But tearing a ligament is a long like wait to like being back to normal. I was in a cast for 7 weeks until I could get out, and then I was in a brace for almost 3 weeks, maybe 3.5 weeks. It was very long. I couldn't play the rest of my basketball season, and I just became, I guess, normal.
All right, enough of that dramatic story. So, I've noticed how, I mean, he comes to my house a lot. He does some dumb things with me.
I come to your house a lot.
But usually you're pretty city boy. I am constantly doing dumb things that could easily at least injure myself, if not.
You haven't broken a leg.
I haven't
broke my
broken.
leg.
The worst thing I did was playing basketball. I broke my right ankle growth plate, and that's really it.
And
I mean, I dislocated my toe today.
You have so many reasons here to break a bone.
Yeah.
And I live...
Like sliding head first, holding onto a cable.
Falling out of the gator.
Literally getting
falling
dragged
down,
by a horse.
hitting trees, you know.
Hitting
There's
trees.
so many...
falling out of trees. I used to
in
climb trees like crazy when I was little. I'd get 40, 30 feet high in a tree. And my parents would be like, how are you going to get down? And I was like, I get about 10 feet and then jump.
Yeah. You could, easily run into a tree, driving the gator, and you could easily hurt yourself.
And I have.
And he has, and you've hurt himself, but...
Well, I'd just like to say, we're about to wrap this up. It's a little shaky first podcast, but I'd just like to thank my dad for helping us with the ideas, giving us his equipment. He already started a podcast, but I'd just like to thank him for all the things. So if you're watching this, thanks, Dad.
Thanks, John.